Yes! Hello, my name is Alex Acuna. Um, I'm going to show the most that I can today. The name of this clinic is Practicing and Professionalism. And the reason I'm saying it like this is mainly because I love to practice because I love music, I love percussion, I love drumming, and I also want to keep playing for a long time. So uh, I want to thank Gombaps, I want to thank Saving Symbols, I want to thank Big Field Sticks, DW Drums, Evans Drum Heads. Those are my sponsors. Without further ado, here we can start displaying some of these wonderful instruments. Good? He's still there though. cucaracha. Okay. And this, another great instrument on Babs. Yes, sir. Okay, I was warming up, and whatever we do with the sticks, we can play it on the congas, on the bongos, on the cajon, with no sticks. The rudiments, they've been there for so many years by the people that really, the drummers especially, and percussionists that established the foundation of the rudiments. Many of the natural players like me, we didn't learn rudiments because we didn't have the facilities like methods, books, not even the sticks, and much less the instruments. So, but now we have amazing instruments, sticks, videos, books, teachers, universities, conservatories. You can really prepare yourself. If you have a dream, you have a desire, if you wish to become, or you wish to do what you love the most, to play music, to be in this kind of a profession, because it becomes a great profession when we dedicate time, when we dedicate a taste for it, like we say in Spanish, sabor, a gusto, that we enjoy it. And anyhow, so many techniques for the congas. We have the low tone. And then we have the open tone. And then we have the open slap. The closed slap, it can be with the same hand. And also sometimes we mute it with the other hand. So that's about 4 sounds right there. And then we can play with the fingers too. You know, we can play any speeds, but the dexterity is involved in being able to really navigate inside these instruments. I will recommend if you can just take one at a time, one conga, and get all those sounds, because after the sounds, you're going to require some techniques. You're going to require like the heel and tip that we call it, heel, tip, or tip and heel with both hands. And then we can practice like triplets, for example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Like that, using kind of a low note and tip, heel, tip, or you can also do open tones. You can do a slap. Oh. And then you can sing with the left hand. Like, for example, let me see if anybody's writing anything. Anyhow, wow, yeah, there are a few things that I'm going to answer. How big is the hem rate on his bongos? What do you say? The next question? How big is the hembra in his bongos? The hembra is the big one. How big is it?
That's 8.5 inches.
8.5 inch is the hembra. And favorites album that I have played on, so many, in many different genres. I play well. There is one that made an incredible history forever. It's called Heavy Weather, and a song that I played the drums. Actually, it went to the Hall of Fame of the Grammys. It's called what is the Birdland? That's the one, because it's a long time ago. Actually, I played that about 45 years ago. It's a long time. Birdland. And but I have record with so many different artists, Whitney Houston and U2, Paul McCartney. The list continues. It's really, and then jazz musicians, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Lal Mays, Wayne Shorter, big names, Ella Fitzgerald, and the list goes on. The same with the great Brazilian musicians, the best, Ivan Lins and Japan, Joao Bosco, and the same with the Latin jazz players, Paquito de Rivera, Arturo Sandoval, Eri Palmieri, Tiro Puente, and again, Perez Prado. And then also I did a lot of recordings for gospel music since the 80s with Andrew Crouch and with the Winans, BB and CC Winans. Uh, Anyhow, so there are so many that we can take really a long time to kind of display who I play with. And, Michael Jackson, I did. Frank Sinatra, also in Las Vegas. Play with Elvis, Diana Ross, And Latinos, Luis Miguel, incredible. Ricky Martin, uh, and many other ones. Placido Domingo, couple albums that I did with him. Some flamenco players also, Paco de Lucia. Anyhow, the icons in the country and around the world. It's been an incredible career for me. But thank you for asking because it gave me the opportunity to really express the different genres. Um, I just want to give incentive students, musicians, professionals about this beautiful art of music. I received it when I was very young. 4 years old, I started playing. By 10 years old, I started playing professionally, and I haven't stopped. So I've been playing now for 66 years professionally. So, but also, I wanted to learn these instruments. So I spent 9 years in San Juan, Puerto Rico, because I wanted to play the Caribbean feel. Now, the reason I mentioned Caribbean drumming and Caribbean music and Caribbean feel, like Cuban, Puerto Rico, and Santo Domingo, mainly because if you play very good Caribbean music, you know, you have the facility to really play any other style of music because an incredible sense of rhythm are included in the syncopations of these styles of music from the Caribbean and plus the Brazilian music because they all are African descendants. For example, this is an Afrobeat when I was growing now. When I was growing in Peru, when I was 10 years old, my father showed me this. One, two, three, four. And that sounds like it's a R&B beat. You can play it faster. So that can be translated to any other instruments. Or faster. Definitely will help when you practice, because we're talking about practice and professionalism. When you practice, use a metronome, and then you become the metronome by practicing all these beats, any time signature beats as well, and you instead of with the metronome, You have your own metronome, which will be, let's say, for me, the clave. Can I have that? The hi-hat. This is a low boy hi-hat. It sounds like a hi-hat, so I use it. Oh. So, if you want to play, like for example, drums, the rudiments, because I haven't forget that I said it's a lot of rudiments, because everything that we play is a rudiment. Now, there are only 3 rudiments. Single roll, a double roll, and a flam. And maybe a 4th one, which will be the press roll. That one, which it need to be played. Excuse me, I want to get my sticks. Needs to be played a press roll. There is the like that, like a buzz, B-U-Z-Z. That's what we call it. Anyhow, but then there are combinations when you do 2 singles and a double. We call it a paradiddle. Paradiddle. You call it 2 singles and 2 doubles. So it's paradiddle diddle. It says exactly the way it sounds, the name paradiddle diddle. So now, let me stay a little bit right there. The paradiddle diddle is very important in the congas and the drums because it's also a jazz beat. When you play jazz, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a paradiddle diddle. So, when you play on the congas, it becomes an Afro-Cuban beat, which is what they call a ñáñigo or a naningo, or they call it a 6/8 rhythm. So now, what you're doing is very musical. You're establishing, you're implanting a metronome in you because the left foot that is playing the claves or the beat is an ostinato beat that won't let you rush or slow down. So that's how you internalize your metronome. So practice every day. Warm up. I will tell you more about it. Let me see. Somebody said, Long Pie, it is okay to apply rudiments to the bongos? Tal asked, what do you think about synthetic skins like fiber skin? Okay, yes, it is possible to apply rudiments to the bongos because everything that we play are rudiments, single, doubles, and so forth. Paradiddles, paradiddle diddles, flams, ratamaqueus, drags. All those different names are combinations of the rudiments. A drag, so you can see it better in the congas, I will do it on the bongos as well. is, oh, that's a drag. So it's 2 beats. And then a flam, and then a flam tap. So a flam tap is a flam with a tap. So, oh. So it's a combination of rudiments. And then the most important thing is you study the rudiments in all your instruments, and by doing that, you will discover sonically what they do. For example, if I do it in the congas, oh, you see, I close it first and then I open, and then I open the flam and I open the tone also. And so you start dealing with dynamics, different dynamics that are directed by this rudiment or any rudiment that you choose. Don't just play one way. Try to play. There are maybe 4 or 10 different ways of playing one rudiment in an instrument. You know, or bongos. Okay? Sound different than the conga. So that will create in your hearing, in your soul, in you, a different tone. It's a different timbre. We call it timbre. So it's flam tap. Now, if you want to play singles, you use fingers first. So the hand is thumb and center finger, and right hand, because I'm right-handed, just playing quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are singles. You want to play doubles, the mama daddy. At any speed. There's many ways of playing bongos with one rudiment. That's just one rudiment. And so this is when the time that you spend on top of the instrument is going to create for you. The more that you spend, the more things will be born between you and the instrument. So remember that. Then the two of you become just one. And actually, you become the instrument. But anyhow, the paradiddle. So you start just making beats, you know, you establish a tempo, and then definitely you can use all the rudiments you want, and everything is already created. Everything, I'm not creating anything new. It's already on the books, it's already on the recordings, it's already, every player have their own style, their own approach, how to display the rudiments in the instruments that they play, and they create their own sound and their own style. And for example, I studied little tablas long time ago, and I put some tabla fingering in the technique of my bongos to be able to play very fast, and I mean extremely fast. I haven't done it, but I'm gonna maybe just do 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I think it can be even done faster than that. So it's spending time with it and make it clear, make it sonically clean kind of way, and that takes time, of course. It's like everything. Uh, but the more that you sit down with each instrument, you're going to discover uh, beautiful stuff. That's when we really uh, start loving it even more. You know why? Because when we discover that the more that we think we know, we also discover that we don't know that much. So your time with the instrument start really increasing because you love it, and then it becomes a beautiful profession as well. Um, it gives to many of us an incredible opportunity, well, to play music with so many icons and to travel around the world, sharing, displaying, teaching, recording, making videos, uh, and also selling our products. Sometimes I tell you the truth. I did about 5, 6 records of mine, and not because I wanted to make money, although everybody does. If you spend some money making the record, spending the time and everything, but my records didn't sell that much, but they became how do you call it, nominated to the American Grammys and things like that. And when I used to go to do clinics in Europe, I told them, I said, you have $10 for English people, it's only $5. I said, give me $5. You don't have any money, okay, just take it. So the main thing is sharing. The main thing is sharing the gift, sharing what you have, and openly, transparently, and it'll really show when you really mean it. Anyhow, going back to the playing, uh, going back to the Paradiddle on the Congas, when we play very fast conga beat, see, in America, we call it rumba, and rumba in America is very slow. Tum, ting, tum, 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 ti, tum, 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 tum. That's the beat. But rumba in Cuba, or in Puerto Rico, or in Santo Domingo, is very fast. Especially when they call it rumba abierta. It means open room rumba. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you go to do a session and they want you to play 4 minutes of this at that speed, you have to find and define your comfort. Physically, first musically, that the time is there, the sound is there, and especially the beat, the flavor is there. So I'm going to also answer this. I will continue with this beat. What do you think about synthetic skins like fiber skin? Well, I do have fiber skins in my congas and my bongos, and the djembe is behind me, and I think they're fantastic. They're very good. I like them. I also like the natural heads, the natural skins. But because, in the last maybe 40 years or more, many percussionists start playing outdoors. And sometimes the weather doesn't help. So if you have a calf head in your congas, it's gonna get out of tune. It's gonna lose the sound, and there is no way you can tune it up, keep tuning up, and it can break, you won't be able to. So actually, when I was in Peru, this is about let me see. It was about, yeah, 60 years ago, 65, 66 years ago, because I'm an old person. But my bongos, the macho, which is the small bongos, broke from the natural head, the calf skin head. And my father had an X-ray. The X-ray is the thing that when they take you an X-ray to see how your bones are, your shoulder, or your elbow, or your arm, or anyhow. My father had one, and he put it in my bongos. This is maybe 1956, something like that. 1956. I was 12 years old, and that's the first time I play what we call it now an acrylic. Synthetic fiber skin, so now you can play these congas. Even my congas right now are in the floor on top of the rug, and they still resonate like they were in a stand. You see how good the fiber skins are? It's not dead. It doesn't sound like this. It's a tone. You can tame by placing your hands. I haven't forgot about different techniques that we're going to use, but I want to finish with the paradiddle and the conga when you play very fast. For example, I had the opportunity to record before the pandemic at Capitol. We were recording the music of I Love Lucy. David, what was his name? Arnaz. I forgot his first name. Anyhow, and Desi Arnaz. It's very. See, you hear? That's a paradiddle. But you simplify that so you are comfortable playing 5 minutes without getting tired, because when you play congas, it's an instrument that you really need a physique. It's like a training. This instrument is to get the sound and the proper flavor of the beat. You have to really feel it, hear it, and keep it. So. So that's paradiddle. In 6/8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. But 6/8 is also a binary metronome tempo in music, so it becomes 2. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 1 2. You start playing a little bit like 16s, and it become very much like a, a 4/4 binary metronome tempo. Anyhow, somebody, David Leonardo Londoño Arias. Cuando is in español, I'm going to translate. When somebody is playing a melody, how do you find out the clave, what clave you should use? 3/2 or 2/3? Excellent question. Excellent question. With a little story, but history, that's why I went to live in San Juan, Puerto Rico, because I want to understand the clave. And nowadays, everybody knows because it's in YouTube and every Academy of Music, School of Music, conservatories, they teaching these instruments and they teaching the proper education about Cuban or Caribbean music. Anyhow, so I'm gonna sing this old song that the clave is very, and I'm glad I have the Gombap's clave here, by the way. I'm not gonna play the clave first. I'm gonna sing and play the clave, but that's the end. Now I'm just gonna play the clave. Right? That's the rumba clave. The third note is in the end. Anyhow, and the son clave, which is the salsa clave, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be in 4/4, it can be in 2/4. Okay, the song, this song is called The Peanut Vendor. Pam, pam, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pam, 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 padam, padam, pam, 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 padam, padam, tadam, pam, 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 param, param. You know. So, the song is already giving you the clave. Pam, 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 padam, padam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pam, 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 padam, padam, pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 tam, pa, tam, pa, tam, pam, pam. The song is the one that defines the clave, what clave you should use. So every time you listen to a song, begin right there, find the clave. Actually, it's not that difficult. I showed my wife is American, and I'm not saying anything wrong by that, but she's a musician, she's a pianist and a singer, and she learned how to keep the clave. She understands the clave now. So anybody can learn about the clave. And the clave in the Caribbean islands, especially, is something everybody knows. The whole country knows about the clave. In Cuba, not only that, in Cuba, the lawyers, the brain surgeon, they play congas too. They have a conga in their office. In Puerto Rico, the same thing, and I'm not kidding. And because it's the culture. So the clave, the salsa, the mambo, the cha-cha-cha, all those beautiful rhythm music from the Caribbean, pleasant songs, happy songs, it's their culture. So they born inside that culture. It's like here in the United States, jazz, and then fusion, and then rock, and Elvis and Bill Haley, and all those people that came out, the 50s, 60s, and then definitely Elvis, and then many Motown came with a fantastic sound, Stevie Wonder, and everybody else that follows. Uh, Michael Jackson, the Jackson Fives, they create Aretha Franklin. So they have their own cultural thing. All to say that, answering your question about genres, about the clave, is cultural. When I say cultural, I even discover cultural here in my town that I live in Los Angeles. If I go to certain parts in Los Angeles, in downtown, or in East LA, I'll be speaking a lot of Spanish, and I will be eating a lot of great Mexican food. So that's a different culture. If I come to Hollywood, go to do a session, the movie soundtracks or recording at Capitol, I had to speak English, and I had to play American music. And I play with American people, American music. And so, those are cultures. And meaning you have to love the culture as well to be able to understand the music that they play, the music that they sharing, the music that they, enjoying playing. Latin music, by far, is happy. You never see any good player playing a djembe or a congas or a timbales like this. I don't think so. You have to play. I'm feeling it inside, like dancing, inside, so you have to use the body, you have to use the uh, flavor of that style of music, and that's the descendants of this percussion, Latin percussion especially, and Brazilian as well. When you play, this is the combat. Again, if I had to play fast, because I'm very honest about this, and I'm not ashamed of saying this. I'm a self-taught musician. But if anybody asks me who taught all the things that you playing, everybody. All the people in Puerto Rico, all the people in New York, all the people in Los Angeles, all the people in Brazil, all the people in South America, people in India, everybody. I know every percussionist in the whole world. The guys that are the leading percussionists in their instrument. Abo, Kosimov, Zakir Hussain, Itamar Doari, Giovanni Hidalgo, and you can take it forever. So many great players, and I look and I listen and I transcribe the beats because I want to play them. And so you have to spend some time, and what I'm trying to continue to say the same thing is just stay with it. Slow. And then if you want to play very fast, you know, I personally, I don't like to talk about I, me, you know, I'm not like that. But I have to say this time, mainly because there are tips to be able to play fast without getting so tired and without still keeping the music and recording it and play it well. Uh, you delete movements. Yeah, you can. I don't. Well, I don't. You cannot play. I know a lot of people can. I don't. I just do this. So do I'm cheating? Maybe, but no, because it sounds great. Actually, I play for Ivan Lins. We were in a session a long time ago at A&M when it used to be A&M Records. And Alex, you play pandero? I said, not really. I can fake it. Okay. And he had another Brazilian. The Brazilian said, Alex, like that. And Ivan said, I don't like that. I mean, it's good, but how you play, Alex? Oh, yeah, I like that because great. You know, so the dynamics in circle techniques help to make it musical. Those are examples. And I know I moved to different things, but they all are included in the same place. How do you develop? I'm gonna, let me see, answer. There, tres conga exercise for the weak hand. My dominate is my right hand. Please, he's asking Martin Sangüesa. He's asking that he would like to learn an exercise for his weak hand. He's a right-handed, so that will be the left hand. Fantastic, great. We can stay here all day, all night. A great teacher that died, used to play gombaps, he died. David Lamole Ortiz, teacher of Giovanni and teacher of Anthony Carrillo. Anthony Carrillo, by the way, #1 bongo player in the whole world. Anthony and me, David Lamole, saw that I had a broken arm. My left arm is broken. See, I had a surgery there. I lived for about 25 years with a rod inside. And even when I was playing with Weather Report, I played like this. Because I could not play like that, and because I could not play the traditional, too much movement of my wrist, and because the rod that they put in Peru when I broke my arm, I didn't play for 6 months. It was damaging these little bones over here in the wrist. So I noticed it, and they took it away over here in Los Angeles. And the doctor that was taking it away, he made a mistake. He opened the wrong place. So he said, oops, that's not the place. So he went in the center and took it out. And but for about 30 years, no, maybe 20 years, 25 years, I play with with my broken arm, broken wrist, broken, and so my left was weak also, like yours. So David Lamole showed me this. And then he showed me this. And then he showed me we play cha-cha-cha with the rolling motion in my left hand, playing triplets, but playing in a 4/4 tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that helped my left hand dexterity. And okay, can one play ghost notes on the bongos? It sounds to me that you are what? Two question marks. This is Stephen J. This is the other question. Can you play ghost notes on the bongos? It sounds to me that you are what? Do you have hand or wrist issue after all these years of playing? Okay, this is Todd Cipher. I'm going to answer you, Todd. Actually, no. And I want to tell you why no. I do martial arts, and I do what we call it Kali, which is a screamer. Two long sticks, like this long, like two sticks. We grab it and we do a lot of wrist techniques, like, and it's very similar to drones. We use a lot of flat taps. We do like what Tito Puente used to do with the timbales sticks. They call it umbrella. So I've been doing Cali for 7 years, and my wrist is fantastic. Actually, I have better technique because I'm looser, because I'm relaxed, and I have more stamina, and I improve. It improved the martial arts, the Cali, improved, and also the Wing Chun. Improve my arms, my wrist, my elbows, and my shoulders, the upper body, strength and flexibility as well. So, but I also acquire as much time as I can, especially last year, practice every day for many hours because so many instruments that we have to play, that we have to play good. For example, I'm looking for my I don't know where I put my shakers. Anyhow, I know it's around here someplace, but I'll find it and I tell you. No, I don't have any problems with after all these years. Um, to the contrary, it's sounding better than ever. And anyhow, but your first question, Steven, can one play ghost notes? Yeah, can one play one song on the on the bongos? It sounds to me that you are. Yeah, well, the ghost notes uh, come with the. Oh, this is low battery. Okay, let me see. The the ghost note it comes with it's right here. Um, when you play, if you don't play ghost notes with this kind of rhythm, then it's gonna sound like. So it's okay, but it's not too musical. So you use ghost notes according to the style of the song, the speed of the song, and we play ghost notes. Um, how can I say it? We play ghost notes interpreting the music. Remember that the music is the one that really tells you, or the song is the one that really tells you. I'm talking metaphorically. The song will tell you how she wants to be played, or how. Yes, that's what it is. No, I don't want you to play me like this. I want you to play me like this. See? Ghost note. So the hands are really in motion constantly. That's what it is. And you are directing the ghost notes because the music is asking you to be played that way. So it takes time, it takes dedication. I will tell you that it's good if you uh, play always with the iPods. So many records now. Spotify have all kinds of music. You know, because bongos, congas, timbales, djembe can be played in any genre right now. Uh, for example, the other day was doing a recording, and the producer said, "Alex, see, they're actually playing a ballad. To, one, two, say, Alex, can you play timbales? I said, yeah, of course. I never say no because you can't say no. You try your best, and this is when experience, and this is when taste, and this is when you obey the music, metaphorically speaking again, and to want to do the best for the artist and the art. So, what you do is, yeah. See, originally, in those kind of songs, we play this like that. You know, but he said, no, 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 I want you to kind of solo on the timbales. I said, okay, let me get my other sticks. That's right there. Yeah, those. And so I use the brushes to play to play on the timbales, I use the brushes, and it was, you know, see, what you're doing is the song is giving you all these licks. See, right now I have something in my head, but it was a melody. I'm not just playing, obeying my hands and making moves. I'm playing music. Like, I said, okay. Bésame, bésame mucho. Como si fuera esta noche la última vez. That's why we need to train ourselves in infinite get involved in listening, in studying, in transcribing, copying other players. That's the beginning. You copy players. I play drums as well. I copy Vinny, Dave Weckl, Steve Gadd, Tony Williams, Elvin Jones, Buddy Rich, Rick Belson, and Joe Morello. And by the way, I play with almost all of them because I play percussion and they play drums. We did sessions together, so I do a lot of questions. I ask them, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do, so everybody's my teacher. And don't be ashamed of asking anybody, teach me this, share this with me, tell me about this, tell me, how do you hold it, how, and things like that. Technique, proper genre, style, strikes, techniques on cymbals, techniques on hi-hat, how do you tune the instruments? It's so many questions, it's so many, you have to really be involved in it. Anyhow, that's just to answer your question. I used brushes playing the cajon? Yes, I did use, this is Denny Jazz. Okay, I'm going to turn the cajon this way now so you can see it. And I'm going to play with these brushes, it's right here. Right here. I actually record in one song with Paratucci's Brazilian album with Joao Bosco. And I was playing brushes in the cajon. It is in that album. And I grab it like this. When I play the cajon, I don't grab it like this. It's uncomfortable. It's very tough. It's bad for your muscles. So I grab it like this. So, just to know what one is, I'm gonna say a bit for you. I hope you can hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4. to be there all day. So I use this, but I can use other brushes too. Let me see another question. 2112 Snow Dogs. Do you tap your feet while playing percussion instruments that don't require feet? Yes. If it's not gonna distract the other players. Uh, but usually, for example, if you're playing something soft, I don't tap, but I dance. I'm moving right now just the tip of my feet, and landing with my heel. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two. You know, and then if I want a different sound, I can just do this, like this is the combat. Acuna. Okay. What happened is when you put the combat sign, stronger when you put the Acuna sign. So you turn it around and you have a louder maracas. You can also play like this. See, the main thing is not so much tapping, but it's moving, feeling it. You have to feel when you play because it's percussion. Percussion brings life to the music, really enhance, really bring joy, all of that. So, by the way, this is the new Gombap 3 shakers, new shakers. Like maybe you saw, it has this kind of a how would you call this?
Rubber clip.
Rubber clips. And I play the maracas. I play. See, everything had to be. See how the nuances of the sound. Those things have to be practiced, and so many things to do with this. But this also can be like a rain stick. You can record it. Definitely when you record it, you know, you can enhance the sound. But it's a beautiful instrument, new, developed from this wonderful company. And very recommendable, very strong. And yeah, not too expensive, by the way. I didn't say how much. Anyhow, let me see other questions over here. Yeah, I tap my feet. Yeah, that I tap, but not really. Well, I did a video I'm not wearing shoes right now, but in the floor, I was tapping like a flamenco dancer. I have a shoes. My tapping was like this. It sounded like that, or it sounded like this, like that, and I did it like like this. You know, it's so many things that you do when you experience recording different styles of music. Sometimes, hey Alex, can you do some flamenco pounds? I say, well, I introduce those ones that I just did. I say, no, 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 something. So sometimes I cannot put my pants down right now, but I lift my, let me see if I can do it here. I do this. These are all the tricks that we learn to work, to make the music happy. So I do the palms like this. La volaría la llama. Alza la banda que mi Danielo. Cosas por el estilo. You know, that's, I know you didn't ask anything in Spanish, but sometimes you have to make the sounds that they want, and with the beautiful technology of today, it sounds like a palms, and you resolve the momentum, and that's the most important thing, you know. So we're talking here, practicing and professionalism, you know, without forgetting, and there is more, way more things, because music is very extensive. I will say it's almost infinite. There is no musician in the whole world, not even Stravinsky, that knows everything about music. It's deep, very much. Okay, do you have to read charts for the studio work? Yeah, this is taught. Let me see. Pierre Lee G. How do you came up with the Berlin drum part? And then Jenny Seaborn. I find playing hand percussion hard on my hands. How can I avoid injury when playing? When playing, what happened, Jenny, is that maybe you're not relaxed. To get the loudest sound in the congas, the hardest sound in the congas, you have to be very relaxed, and it becomes the loudest sound. And it's this, very relaxed. You just dropping the hand. I'm just dropping. I'm not hitting. I'm not doing this. I'm just dropping my arm, very relaxed. And that's a slap. You don't do this. I don't want to do it either, because I will break my hand. So you don't hit, you drop. That's being relaxed. So if you're getting injured, it's because you're not relaxed. It's because you're hitting, and it's not good for the shoulders, for the elbows, for the wrist, and for the hands. Pierre, how did you came up with the Berlin drum part? Okay, you know what? Uh, Nobody creates anything. Everything is there. It's being created already, and a lot more to discover. By the way, but I'm a jazz musician. By the way, I play jazz really good. I mean, I'm sorry that I had to say it this way, mainly because I play with jazz. Some of the guys that created jazz, Wayne Shorter, Joe Zawinul. Joe Zawinul was the piano player for Carnival Adderley, and Wayne Shorter was a sax player and also the writer for Mal Davis. And I had the opportunity to play with them for 3 years, 1975, 76, and 77. And meaning that, how do I know about Wayne Shorter? Because I love his compositions. I started listening to Mal Davis in 1964, when Tony Williams was only 17 years old, playing already, and I heard Tony Williams playing kind of with a disco beat. Yeah. Like it is. Like that. And sometimes you can play with two hands in the hi-hat and just keeping that beat, you know. There's no way that I can go over there to the drums, huh? I'm gonna have to twist. Can I go to the drums for a second? Saying if I see it there and you can. Can you see me there? Great. I don't know if the sound is going to be great, but you know. Then Jaco, when we record Tin Town, he recorded like this. I discovered that this beat in the hi-hat, it can be challenging. Because, for example, me, I don't have the just fast hands technique. So I cheat by doing this. timbales and the bongos and the cajon, I played on the drums. Before I get up from the drums, this is one of the first beats that I learned from my father and my brothers when I was 7 years old. It's in 4/4 and 12/8. My father was teaching to my three brothers. One played the bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Like that. My other brother, my father said, it's a roll of 6-stroke roll and 9-stroke roll. So that's two of my brothers playing that beat. And then the third brother played like a jazz hi-hat beat. So it's 6 and 4. So I play it. I still practicing that. Thank you. You know, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Peruvian beat, the first beat that I learned. By the way, in Peru, the music of Peru, the ethnic music of Peru, because we descend, we were conquered by the Spanish, is in 3/4, the music of the coast. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, acoustic guitar, cajon. And then that's in 3. And then they clap in 4 at the same time. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that will be, let me see, something like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The left foot is in 3, the hands are in 4, and then they start singing in 5 at the same time. So it's 3, 4, 5. And it's like this. No. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Ta 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 ta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 3, 4, and 5 at the same time. That's my Peruvian music. That's why it's not so popular. Because if you try to sing and dance or play and sing, you probably fall down. But it gave us, especially the rhythm players, an incredible understanding how to play superimposed rhythms. Meaning superimposed rhythm means that I'm playing, for example, the clave with one hand in 4/4, and I'm going to play phrases of 5 with my right hand. So we'll be like this. So group of 5, it will be 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. This is 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Then we do also 4 and 7. They meet every 16 groups, and then definitely also 9. You can play 9, but we leave that for later. And superimposed rhythms is being playing a lot of classical music. Liszt wrote pieces playing 3 in left hand and playing 4 in the right hand, or playing 5 phrases, not the whole song. So that's another lesson, but one day I went to do a clinic in England, in London, and the instruments arrived late. And I was maybe 400 or 500 people. I had a microphone, and by the time they will set up all the instruments, it would take another 45 minutes. But there wasn't a schedule, so I said, don't worry, I'm just gonna play my body, I'm gonna sing rhythms, and so they say, okay. So I just, what I learned in Puerto Rico. And I was there for about 5 minutes, just playing with, with the keeping the clave with my hands. But then I said, I'm gonna play clave in 4, and I'm gonna sing groups of 5 at the same time. So I don't need any instrument. I got the microphone, good volume, and I did this. I hope you can hear it. One. Then the 7. One. See, Paul Hindemith wrote books about solfeo. By the way, Paul Hindemith was Jaco Pastorio's favorite teacher and one of his favorite musicians. Jaco knew about him a lot. When I studied in the conservatory in Puerto Rico, we had to sing and play different rhythms and sing at the same time. It was called the solfeo. So I learned there that whatever you can sing, you can play. So now I'm going to play 6 and 5. This is 6. be like, you know, or it can be. So this is a group of 6 in the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. And then with the right hand, I'm gonna play in 5. That all came from my Peruvian heritage and the books that I study over here of Fred Albright. He died a couple years ago. He was living in San Jose. He was teaching in the 60s at the Manhattan School of Music. He wrote a couple books. It's called Polyrhythmic Studies for Drums. And it talks about all this, looks like Chinese to me. But it's 5 against 6, 3 against 5. So that's another topic. But I just want to introduce a little bit of how music is also mathematics. It's math, numbers, counting. For example, you can play 5 and 7 at the same time. Oh yeah? Yeah, it's 2 ways. So group of 5 will be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5 and 7. 5 and 7. That's 7. This is 5. Now, 5 has 5 beats. 1, 2. When you play 2 with one hand, you play 3 with the other hand. 1, 2, so 1. So with this, you can see, you can hear, and you can count the beats. Now, that was 2 here and 3 over here. Now, I'm going to put 3 with the left and 4 over here. So if I put 4 over here with the 3 that I played before is 7. And if I play 3 over here with the 2 that I played before is 5. So now I'm going to play 3. 1, 2, 3. And over here I'm going to play 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now if we play 5, it's going to be 7 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, So 5 together. It's so much music. That's why practicing is the one that is going to show you this. It's going to enlarge your knowledge, your understanding, the musicianship. You're going to discover sounds, approach to certain styles, techniques. They are exercises that you, by doing one thing, you're going to be doing 4 things at the same time. For example, let's say I'm going to play the clave with the left hand, and then I'm going to play the any paradiddle or anything, a paradiddle diddle. So while I'm playing paradiddle diddle on the clave with the left foot, that will be one is in 3 and the other one is in 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, like that, and then you can put the bass drum, and then the same thing, clave and cáscara now with the left. So you're playing cáscara in 4, clave, and you're playing 3 in the right hand, and then with the bass drum, of course. So it's so much, and it doesn't sound like you're playing all times. It sounds musical. It sounds phrases, musical phrases. Okay, somebody taught Fern. Do you listen to the bass player the most in musical situations? Yes, of course. Thank you, because had the opportunity to play with the best bass players, icon players in this world. Beginning with Cachao from Cuba, with Andy Gonzalez from New York, with Ron Carter from New York, with Jaco Pastorius from Philadelphia, with Abraham Laboriel from Mexico, from John Patitucci, and the list goes on. Stanley Clark. Right there, that group of players right there, they cover from classical all the way to any genre. Jazz, Latin, ethnic, funk. They play the whole scenario, everything that is about music. And it's been an incredible honor and privilege to have the opportunity. Yes, I listen to them all the time. I still do. Paz Acuna. Did you really play in Drumline and Coming to America? Yes. How do you know? In Drumline, my name is on the credits, right? Not in Coming to America is not on the credits, but yes, I put together when the ballet, African ballet are playing. I called Paulinho da Costa, called Luis Conte, Efrain Toro, and I, the 4 of us, did that part of the ballet, playing very African, very not Cuban. We play Cuban, and they didn't like it. Not that they didn't like it; it's just that it didn't fit the ballet of the movie. So we went a bit African, and actually, you will say, how do you switch from Cuban to Africa, or from Africa to Cuba? You just switch the instruments. Instead of having the quinto over here, maybe I will have it in my right hand. You know, I will switch just the instrument. and play different beats, of course. Yes, I did. Praise God, I still recording in a lot of movies right now. Uh, Next week I'll be doing Sing 2 with two of my friends on percussion, Luis Conte and Walter Rodriguez. And then I play on the three Mission Impossibles, Born Identity, Star Wars, Star Trek, all the big movies. Um, a couple movies that they're coming this year in December. One of them is West Side Story, directed by Steven Spielberg, and the music is well, the composer is dead. You know, his name is Leonard Bernstein, but the composer of the soundtrack for the movie is David Newman, and Luis and I did the Latin percussion in that movie. Uh, I played in the 2020 came out in August or September, I think Mulan. I played on that too. Um, oh yeah, there is a movie that won the Grammy. No, not the Grammy, the Oscar. Um, Soul. Soul. I play on Soul also, and I've been working in a lot of the movies soundtracks since the year 2000, and it's been a beautiful experience and opportunity to be able to share with those caliber of musicians that they're different. In the movie, when you do movies, you have to use all your senses. You have to listen to three things, three different things: the click track, the orchestra, and the percussion session. Those three. Then you have to visualize two very important things: the conductor and the music. You have to read the music. And then the sixth sense is that you have to interpret it. And not only that, and sometimes they ask you to improvise. What is written is just a guidance, a guide, and you improvise inside that frame of music. So it's very wonderful to be able to do those kind of jobs. Sometimes we track I don't know how many minutes of music, maybe 90 minutes of music in 3 days. It's a lot of music. Okay, over here, Nicholas Palmer. Would you agree that the tabla is one of the most difficult percussion instruments to learn? I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't play tabla. I think if drums are the percussion instrument, I think drums is very difficult to play, especially Latin jazz. It's a four-way coordination. You play one thing with your left hand, you play another thing with your right hand, a totally different rhythm. You play another thing with your left foot, and you play another thing with your left foot, and then still you have to read music at the same time. So you're doing five things on drums, on Latin jazz drumming. So I don't know if he tablas. I admire musicians, of course, that they dedicate their life to one instrument. I wish I could have done that, but it wasn't my call. My call was to cover other sounds. But I love Swapan Chanduri and Zakir Hussain and many other ones. And over here is also my friend Walter Rodriguez is a great tabla player. And Satnam is also an incredible drummer and tabla player. Let me see. let me see. Before you sign off, you can only play once more and showcase all the Congas products? Sure. Thank you. I will do that, Nicolas. Thank you very much. Let me play some cajon for you. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna try to play the flamenco music. It's in 12/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Thank you.